Yo, what's up? What's up? It's Tommy Hamilton, aka the Hungry Millennial, back with another Bite audio experience. This week on the Bite, I'd like to talk to you about George S. Clawson's The Richest Man in Babylon. To get started, it was kind of a tough audio listen because the book is a little bit older. But I dove into the book because it was recommended by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he explained that it was basically one of the biggest reasons why he had written the book, and he had taken a lot out of George S. Clawson's The Richest Man in Babylon. One thing that I liked about the book is its ability to give examples through stories, and it brought a lot of value because it kind of takes your mind on a journey and shows you how the different concepts work. One thing I didn't like is the how like olden days it was set. I think somebody really needs to do a recreation of the book. That way it kind of brings that audio into more modern times. So now that, that's my brief few tidbits that I had about it. But let's get down to some of the concepts. The Richest Man in Babylon is a book that talks about how you use money, and some of the big principles I took out of it were 1/10 to keep. So that's money that you put away in savings, like for vacations, things of that nature, to just save up. And then 2/10 of the amount of money that you make should be put and added to pay off debt. And it explains making agreements on that debt so that way you can pinpoint it. Because when you're talking, especially being young, when you're talking to creditors, there are different ways to manage that debt and pay those different options off. Many times you can find a way to get a reduced payment, and I found like over and over again that it's more helpful to contact them, communicate with them effectively about what's going on than letting it pass. Because even if you only able to pay $50 a week, it's still more than not paying anything. And then the other 7/10 to bills. 7/10 of your income should go to bills and paying those bills off. But the connection to Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad was really about making sure that you pay yourself first, right? Making sure you put that money aside. And at the end of it, you'll look at all those little coins and all that little money that adds up, and it'll become big money. Many times we feel like we need to start from a place of huge amounts of money, or, we need to, take all these vacations and do all these amazing things when we're younger. But then, I look at the flip side of things, and most of our parents are in debt and working second jobs after their retirement. So if you can take that and make that money grow, which kind of takes you over to the transition of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, then you can set yourself up for the future. Another huge takeaway that I got from the book was hard work. He talks about he gives an example of a young rich man of royal priesthood who, he undervalues hard work. He believes in working smarter and not harder. But the thing is eventually he found out that his father was a slave, and he couldn't believe it. He didn't, but that slavery concept came from the fact that everybody owes somebody, and not necessarily everybody. There are a lot of people with a lot of financial freedom, but, as millennials and, young people, as we go out into the world, we think that, our bosses, we're like, oh, they got all the money and they hoarding all the money. But the bottom line is they also have bills too. They have debts that they owe other people. The grass is not always greener on the other side. But I believe, and I found over my lifetime, that through hard work and execution, we have the ability to change that outcome. So stay patient, stay the course, save the money, put it away. And the last concept that I really loved in this book was looking for small opportunities for advancement. In the book, there's an example that he gives. I guess he was selling like sweet cakes or something like that for somebody else, and he realized that he could sell more than what was actually being sold. So he made an agreement with his boss, hey, I will sell more for you out in said areas because they need this product, they love this product, if you in return help me with supplies. And so that became an opportunity for advancement because he also took that 1/10 keep, that 2/10 to the debt, and then the 7/10 to bills. So I think it's very important as young people, and just people in general. Colonel Sanders didn't get rich until he was, like late 60s. He didn't really hit that jackpot. But I think it's important to, stay hard working, keep hustling, keep grinding, use the small opportunity that you have for advancement. A lot of times, like, I got into a car wreck recently, so I haven't been Ubering a lot lately or much at all. But, I realize there's DoorDash, there's a bunch of different options. So after I get done with my FedEx shift, I go out there and I try to make a little bit of money. Sometimes I make a lot, sometimes I make a little, sometimes I make nothing. But it's very, very important that you develop that work ethic, because you never know when that work ethic is actually going to come in handy and eventually change your life. Strive through the adversity, and that adversity can take you to the next level. But this has been the Hungry Millennial. I appreciate you checking out my review of George S. Clawson's The Richest Man in Babylon. I think it's a great audio gem to read and to check out. And, don't shy away from the reading. If you're more of a paperback person, check it out. But anyway, this is Hungry Millennial. Like, share, subscribe. Have a great day. I appreciate you checking out my channel. Thank you.